Hey, yo, what's up? You know this? It's the one and the only Professor L live in the L.A.B. I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of the show where the guy speaks on. Please, come on in. Classroom doors open. Lab coats on. Make sure you're sterile. Do not touch anything that you cannot replace. And go on, take a seat. Go on, file on in, everybody. File on in, because, yo, coming right up here. Episode 3, Borderline of Justice. The board, children. Because, yo, this right here, this was my kind of episode. And it's my kind of episode because there was a lot going on. And because, again, like I said, right now, we are still 3 episodes in, and right now, we are still trying to establish this world, establish these characters, establish plot relevance, and all that old good stuff. Because we open our episode with the three leaders of the 3 Mishima Zaibatsu that split up by the skywall, sitting up here like, yo, what you doing now? We ain't doing nothing, cuz. What you doing? Nah, we ain't doing nothing. Nah, what you doing? Nah, fam, we ain't doing nothing. A whole bunch of back and forth of we doing nothing when y'all actually doing something. So that makes me in my head because, you know, the conspiracy theorist plot relevant man in me is like, there's something up with that. That even though that Japan is split up, 3 Mishima Zaibatsus, we sitting up here having Tupac hologram conversations about the nothing we're doing, even though y'all know y'all doing something. It's something up with that. It is completely, utterly something up with that. I don't know what it is, but whatever that's gonna be, that reveal gonna be good. Whatever the 3 of them know as the prime ministers of your 3 Mishima Zaibatsus, that's gonna get nuts. You know what I'm saying? And then we learned that, you know, that who I thought was the leader of the Gray Squad, you ain't leader of the Gray Squad. Your daddy leader of the Gray Squad. So we call him Gray Squad Dad. That's his name, Gray Squad Dad. He ain't got no name. His name Gray Squad Dad. So who knows what Daddy know? Because we learned later in the episode something about the Genkoku, but I don't want to quite get to that yet because I want to discuss that a little bit in length. Now, more of this plot establishment, plot relevance. It's like our first scene with our heroes at Nasita chilling or whatever. Like, what are we doing today? We trying to get some more information on this dude that stabbed Ryuga in the back and made him a monster or whatever. We trying to get this popping off. What's really good? And it's like we find out that swimming pools is an idol. Like, straight up got the internet on lockdown. We can't find out information on nobody. Hey, yo, let me change it to my idol outfit. Hey, you know what it is? It's your favorite idol swimming pools. I'm here. Hey, this what I need from y'all. I'm like, it's some dude that's messing with my people, and this his name, and this his face. Y'all bring me some info. And she get the info, and I'm just like, wow. I'm like, cause see, I kind of knew that they was gonna let Masora clown a little bit, but I didn't know they was gonna go into you're an internet idol. And I'm like, that's more of what I've been talking about these past 2 episodes, with this show being open enough to have fun with the premise and have fun with these characters as we explore these characters more. It's like I knew it was something up, but I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and since we talking about them in the spotlight, we get more of establishing our hero and how our hero works. Is we kind of knew this for the first 3 episodes you watch it, depending on how you get down with how you keep up with Kamen Rider, is what makes best matches. Organic and inorganic, or, you know what I'm saying, like Hawk Gatling, which we will learn more about later, and Rubber Tank, and Gorilla Mod and stuff like that. So it's like the show is going out its way to take the time because, again, we have to remember that no matter what, this is a children's television show that is built to sell toys. So give yourself some time within plot relevance to explain how your toys work. It just makes sense to do. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense to do and all of that. More importantly, the thing that I really want to get to and get through into this review is character establishment. This episode was full of it. Because it's like I said, the relationship between Ryuga and Kiryu, that they gonna rub off on each other. It's gonna be that kind of relationship where, you know, man, we alright and I saved you, but you gonna be my ace boon when we done. You know what I'm saying? Like, we learned that later in the episode, and I don't want to get to that now, but you get a lot of that because Ryuga brings it up like, dude, like, why are you going out here? You risked your life and risked everything to become a fugitive to save me, to find out what's going on, but don't you want to find out what's up with you? Nah, man. Being built and doing what needs to be done because nobody else can. That's what's important to me. Establishing why your Kamen Rider is doing what they're doing is important. Now, I'm not saying that it should have taken 3 episodes, but you needed a reason to bring up the character's raison d'etre. You need a reason for you to understand, like, this is why you do what you do. I just want to bring smiles to people. I want to do what it is that I can. That's why I became a Kamen Rider in the first place. That's usually the Kamen Rider's reason, because depending on the Kamen Rider we're speaking about, how they get their powers and why these things happen, the reason is usually the same, but it's always dipped into something personal. Now, I will say, this episode didn't give us the personal reason why Sento does what he does. We didn't get that. We will. The show will give you that. But simple as, I just want to put smiles on faces. That by beating Smash and protecting the people, I can bring a smile to their face. In this time, even in the 10 years since, this tenseness of uneasiness, this tension of being scared, that I, as the Kamen Rider, can bring some peace to that. And I think that's important to establish because of what it is we're dealing with here. And I appreciate that the show went out of its way to do that. It's like the show doesn't need to go out of its way and establish why the Kamen Rider does what he does, but it helps. It helps you to get in line with the character, to be with the character, to be in the character's moments. Because let's be for real. We've all watched shows where whatever it is the main character is doing don't quite get over on you because you're not invested in that character. I'm 3 episodes in, and I am invested in Sento Kiryu. That's the case. I am invested in this character because I believe in the character. The show has made me a believer in the character. And to do that 3 episodes in, that's kind of hard. For someone like me who really takes some time to really warm up to Kamen Riders, it's like this has been one of the quickest warm-ups to a Kamen Rider that I've had because I'm with whatever he want to do. And that's what the show should do. I'm equally warming up to the Bill family. I'm like, it's great that Sento has a Ryuga to question him because you got this genius over here and you got this rough and tumble fellow and they clashing and they banging heads. But that's what makes good friendships. Good clashing of morals, clashing of ideas. That's what makes a good friendship in the show because you want to sit up here and you see that it's popping off. You want to watch that evolve into something. And it will. And the payoff will come. I'm like, if we speaking of characters, later in the episode, Sawa got her chance to shine, and all I have to say was that every now and then, a nice reminder of Bai from Geki Ranger is wonderful. And we are going to sit down, and it will take me all of 5 minutes to explain why you should watch Geki Ranger. But I'm probably finna do my 3rd watch of Geki Ranger. I have been planning to. But it's like, her commentating that whole fight was like, yo, that's Bai from Geki Ranger. And I'm like, yo. I'm like, I was gonna bust something out on y'all. I was gonna bust something out on y'all. See, there is a lesson in everything. That's all I'm saying. Keep it simple, keep it sweet. I'm like, the rest of the episode was mainly ultimately getting to the part where we learned about Hawk Gatling. We learned Hawk Gatling was the best match earlier because of the clash of ideals between Sento and Ryuga. Like, I'm a genius and I can't figure out how this works. Yo, this is simple. animal, something not animal. You know what I'm saying? Inorganic, organic. However you want to pronounce it. More the clashing of ideas. I'm like, I'm with Hawk Gatling, dog. I'm like, I like that form. That form, how Santa Per had the wings all popped out. Santa Per got the gun. He rolled up with the gun, like he rolled up in the gun with no more spraying it, folks. And I'm like, yes. Also, now that I remember that happened too, was Ryuga had the Dragon Full bottle and punched it, hit that dude with that 1-inch punch, like bow. Oh, I'm like, already. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, the countdown, the claws is on. I wonder how many episodes before, because see, as much as I enjoy seeing, Ryuga, dress up like a grandma and go try to get on fishing boats or whatever, I'm like, it's like his unhinged fights is hot, you know what I'm saying? He put in a little bit of work and then he get outnumbered and then Santa just come in and start spraying fools. You know what I'm saying? Then he's going to be there for a while till he get his form. But I can't wait to see that happen. I'm like, while I'm on this wave, let me back up a little bit because it's something that I kind of want to bring home to y'all, right? The moral of the episode. We talked about it earlier about the reason a rider does, right? Remember what Sento said. I do it to bring smiles to faces. That being his reason rubbed off on Ryuga. Like, they found the information about where Homeboy was, and he called him up like, yeah, I'll save your family in exchange for it. But then once he realized that you're not a hero because you're trying to save yourself, you a hero but you trying to save others, and like it was said in the episode, if you're doing it looking for a reward, then you're not really doing it for the right reasons. It's like when you get character interactions like that help a character to evolve this early on in the series, that's what you want to see. You want to see the penchant and the possibility for these characters to slowly evolve into who they'll be when this show is over. I enjoy this show. I really do. I enjoy the fun interactions. I love the interactions between swimming pools and Ryuga. I love the interaction between the two of them. I do. It's like they sitting up here. It's like, yo, I'm gonna put you in chains. No, now you in chains now. I'm like that one part where Masora walk up and threw that knife. I was sitting up here looking like that girl from It or something like. I'm like, wow. I'm like, again, like I say, I just love that this show is willing and able to take comedic chances, and it always hit. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. However, though, we gotta get to something really important. What's up with the boy Bloodstark, and why does Gentoku know what's up with him? At the end of the episode, Gentoku had a full bottle in his hand. This is probably some reason about what's up with Masora. Like, it's got to be something to it. And it's like, the show right now doesn't really have the time to really delve into that backstory as we're getting to know the character, because, see, that would be too much information overload too fast. I'm like, I have my theories and thoughts that it may be that, Masora, that she might be, I think, for real, like my honest thought, Masora and Soichi are Martians. That's my running theory right now. That whatever happened with Pandora's box, they might have come back with Pandora's box, and then may have initially involved with the experiments before Pandora's box went off. And it may be, you know what, I can't even say that. I was about to say something mad spoilery for another Kamen Rider show, and I had to stop myself. I had to stop myself from saying it. But given that this show is really putting out a lot of old school vibes with a lot of callbacks to the original Kamen Rider, There was another Kamen Rider show that had a lot of callbacks to the original Kamen Rider, but I don't want to name that show because naming that part of the plot at the point when you learn that part of the plot is spoiling the whole show for you, and I don't want to do that because I want you to watch whatever that show is. And I'm not giving any context clues in any way, shape, or form. But let's just say I may talk very, very highly of this Rider show and have mentioned it more than once. So I suggest you watch that show, whatever it is. That's just me. Whatever that show is that I'm referencing, not telling you what it is, that has a lot to do with what's going on right now. You go do that. You go do that. Like I said, this episode had everything. I'm like, I'm interested in knowing what's up with Bloodstark. I'm like, I want to know. He sat up here, hit the boy center with the young Venom like, man, it's that lean dog, and he fell out. I'm like, you really gotta wonder what's up, dog. You really gotta wonder like what's up with Ryuga and Sawa as they finna go over her and go get set up over here in the other hood, and you got Sento, he laid out. It's just nuts. You really gotta wonder where this is going. You got Gentoku sitting up here with a full bottle in his hand, talking about, yo, the boy young Bloodstark on the move, cause who is he talking to? Like, what's going on? It's like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. Just let me flow on this flow real quick, and then before we get up out of here, right? Something up with my boy Gentoku, because your daddy the prime minister, and given that your head is completely freaking warped, is you up to something. Whether that's a coup, whether you finna kill your daddy or something gonna go wrong, and that's going to be a plot turner when it comes. I already know that. I want to know who he was talking to, because more than likely, it ain't just him that's sitting up here plotting a coup on your masters. How much you want to bet that for every one of the Mishima Zabatsus, the second in commands, or who reporting to the prime ministers, waiting for the coup to take over, and that's when stuff really finna get started. That just seems like a sensible plot thing to do to keep that side of the plot going, while they trying to sit up here and focus on Kamen Rider and do all that stuff. Like I said, this show has potential to be that business, and we 3 episodes in, and I'm in there. Like my brain working, I'm in there like swimwear. Do you hear me? Oh, and before I forget, before we get up out of here, Be the One is really catchy. Be the one, be the one, be the now, or whatever she be talking about. I'm like, yo, they sitting around the whole intro shaking bottles and stuff. I'm like, hey, yo, Buster, what up, son? You gonna leave them girl rolling? Cause it would look like the ass is swollen and the air getting big, and when your bad baby sitting, do what you gonna say? Pass the full bottle. Okay. I don't know where I was going. I'm like, yo, I just had Pastor Cavassier in my mind, and I just had to get that out there. So what better way to get out? I wanna hear some Pastor Cavassier than talk about it on Kamen Rider Build. I'm like, yo, that video, that's one of my favorite music videos of all time, because it's a throwback to one of the greatest movies ever in Harlem Nights. I'm like, that is a movie that can, I don't know if the comedy scene is so clicked up enough where they could do a Harlem Nights, dog. I don't know if they could do a Harlem Nights remake, because I don't know if it's like a real comedian actor that can really carry that movie the way that it needs to be carried. Just figured I put that out there because it's on my mind. I'm like, Patrick Cavassier, classic joint. But yo, that's all I got. I'm like, the only other thing that I wanted to say was I really wish Climax Fighters wasn't what it was, because I sit up here and I watch the forms of build, and I see how wonderful, how gangster that would be in a fighting game. Like how like Climax Heroes was. You know what I'm saying? Because Climax Fighters is his own thing, and I'm willing to give it a chance to be his own thing. But that don't mean that that I don't want my crack to come back. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But yo, that is another episode in the books. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me in the LAB, the one and the only triple, the G.O.D, aka Professor L. I'm like, yo, thank you guys for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. For real talk. I appreciate that y'all come through, come holler at your boy and all that old good stuff. If you want to know what's the latest on Dragon Ball Fighters, there's a video up for that. Q Ranger in a minute, and a whole bunch of other stuff, because that is what I do. So for now, class is dismissed. Go ahead, make sure that you put your lab coats in your cubby holes, all that old good stuff. Make sure you're sterile on the way out. Do not touch nothing that you can't replace, and go ahead and get up out of here. One more time, you know what it is. I is the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D, aka Professor L, live in the where? L.A.B. And I'd like to thank you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And remember, kids, Triple the Guy Speaks On and Kamen Rider Bill, best match